Welcome back. Thank you very much for staying with us. You're watching SA Today here on SABC News with me, Flo Dwaba. Well, COGTA Mpumalanga has given an update on the tropical storm that swept through the province and left a trail of destruction. Let's carry on this conversation. For more, we are joined by our reporter in Mpumalanga, Siphephile Kunene. A very good afternoon to you, Siphephile. Just as a start, of course, we understand that COGTA has given an update on tropical storm Eloise, and we're hearing that mop-up operations are underway and will certainly be helping to assess more of that damage. What is the latest? What can you tell us? What are you hearing from COGTA?
At the moment, the Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs in Mpumalanga is sending through help to those who have been affected. Bushbuck Ridge and Nkomazi being the worst hit by this storm. 11 houses were damaged in Nkomazi, whereas in Bushbuck Ridge, 70 houses in counting have been damaged. That's according to the report that they gave us today. And the department has sent through things like blankets, tents. They've also sent food where it was necessary for that to happen. And unfortunately, the province has lost 3 people during this storm, and all 3 of them were trying to cross certain rivers where they stay. In Mbombela, a 5-year-old was swept away by the floods in a local stream. In Tabachew, a 40-year-old man was swept away by the flood when trying to cross a stream. Whereas in Chief Albert Tuli, it was a different case altogether. A woman was carrying a child on her back, and when she tried to cross the river, he fell. The flood swept her. She fell, but she couldn't save the baby. But all the bodies have been recovered now. What's happening is that the department is dealing with people to continue to keep safe and not to cross submerged bridges and not try to cross rivers. And people have been asked to refrain from invading or building homes where there are flood lines, where there are low-lying areas, because they become prone to this. The Department of Public Service and Public Works is going to be fixing the bridges and roads where they were damaged. The Department of Public Works will be taking stock and finding out how much they can help in terms of rebuilding homes or roofing where it's necessary. And basically a consolidated report is still to be released. The Department of Health as well has committed to making sure that people are following the COVID-19 regulations, where people are supposed to be taken to schools or churches or places like that. It was made necessary that they do not become crowded. Therefore, most of them were taken to their relatives so that they do not tend to get contaminated or to contract COVID-19. They didn't want to make the ground fertile for COVID-19. And what they told us today was that they have been using money from the 18 million budget that they were allocated last year by the Department of Treasury in the province. That is solely for natural disasters, because you'd know that Nkomazi happens to be one of those municipalities that suffer when it comes to such disasters. And the worst hit district is the Ehlanzeni, which consists of Tabachew, Mbombela, Nkomazi, as well as Chief Albert Tuli is in Hurt Sibande.
Yeah, you talk about those municipalities that have been mostly affected from Ehlanzeni district municipality. You mentioned Bushbuck Ridge, Tabachew, Nkomazi, and Nkomazi as well. Just in relation to communication for those areas, I'm assuming that those would be the ones that were maybe closest to the border with Mozambique, that would have been hardest hit. Is there a sense that there was enough communication to the people? I mean, the fact that people are crossing rivers during a storm paints a picture to me that perhaps there wasn't enough or sufficient communication, and sadly there are two children losing their lives and a 40-year-old losing his life there as well. Was there, from your assessment, enough communication to people in those particular areas about what this storm can bring and the destruction indeed that it can bring?
The challenge with communication is that it's either you communicate with to above or below people. In terms of communication, there were announcements that were done on local radio stations. They were done through social media from the Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, as well as the municipalities. I know for a fact that the municipality in Nkomazi communicated a lot when it was warning people about the oncoming storm. There were bulletins that they were putting on social media, and their local radio station, Nkomazi FM. Therefore, in most of these places, information was shared. But the challenge is that, was it shared to the people that need it the most? Because most people do listen to radio, but it cannot be everyone. And again, people know when such takes place around this province, Nkomazi becomes the worst hit, followed by Bushbuck Ridge. And people in those places, they normally are aware that that will happen. There will be flooding. But you know what happens when there's such flooding? People tend to think that, okay, now the rain is gone. Maybe it's taking a break for 10 minutes. They think it's gone, and then they start walking into these bridges thinking that the water is subsided. Meanwhile, when they are in the middle of that given bridge, the rain will come again, and then they get swept away.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for that full report, Siphephile Kunene. Please continue to stay safe. They're giving us an update on the situation in Mpumalanga. Many thanks to you.